असलामुअलैकुम एंड सत श्री अकाल। बुद्धिज्म धर्म ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਸਵਾਮੀ ਔਰਤ ਨੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਸਰਦਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਸਿੱਖੀਜ਼ਮ ਧਰਮ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਐਸੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਹੈਰਾਨ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। ਕੀ ਆਖਿਆ ਹੈ, ਕੀ ਕੰਪਲੀਟ ਡਿਟੇਲ ਹੈ, ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਇਸ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਾਣਾਂਗੇ। ਵੀਡੀਓ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੀ ਜੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀਰ ਭਰਾ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗ ਇਸ ਚੈਨਲ ਤੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਨੇ ਕਾਈਂਡਲੀ ਚੈਨਲ ਨੂੰ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰ ਲੈਣ ਔਰ ਬੈਲ ਆਈਕਨ ਦੇ ਬਟਨ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਕਰ ਦੇਣ। ਵੀਡੀਓ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ।
मैं ये कहना चाहती हूँ कि पंजाब गुरुओं की धरती है। यस, हमारे गुरुओं ने बहुत बलिदान दिता है।
Kamadashi, thank you so much for coming on this podcast
You're most
and sparing your valuable time. And I'm sure and this is going to be a surprise. थोड़ी पंजाबी च भी गल होएगी। ਅਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ और English mix ਕਰਾਂਗੇ।
हाँ जी, जिन्ना को आंदे है।
You speak very good Punjabi. The discussions what we did before, rolling on the camera, ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੜੇ ਸਰਲ ਸ਼ਬਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਜਾਏਗੀ।
जी मैं तुसी ठीक समझे।
हाँ जी। No, I'm so amazed by your journey कि ਜਿੰਨੀ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੈਡੀਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਪਿਰਚੁਅਲਿਟੀ ਦੀ ਜਰਨੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਸਵਾਲ ਤੋਂ, ਇੱਕ ਡਿਸਟ੍ਰੈਸ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੰਨੀ ਬੇਚੈਨੀ ਕਿਉਂ ਹੈ, ਐਂਡ ਉਹ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਦੀ ਤਲਾਸ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ, ਇੱਕ ਹੈਪੀਨੈਸ ਸਟੇਟ ਜਾਂ ਸਟੇਟ ਆਫ ਐਕਸਟੈਸੀ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਰਹੇ, ਉਹਦੀ ਤਲਾਸ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਐਂਡ ਯੂ ਆਲਸੋ ਮੈਂਸ਼ਨਡ ਕਿ ਹਾਊ ਯੂ ਵੈਂਟ ਟੂ ਥਾਈਲੈਂਡ, ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ 10-day ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਟੈਂਡ ਕੀਤਾ, ਐਂਡ ਦੈਨ ਫਰੋਮ ਦੇਅਰ your journey started in a certain way. Transformation. But most importantly, ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਲਿਖੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ,
गुरु नानक देव जी
and Gautam Buddha, please थोड़ी जी if you can put some light on that.
जी, thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be called here for this podcast. By the way, my name is Karma Tashi and I'm from Malaysia, but my grandparents are from Punjab. We are from Moga, both sides, Nana Nani, Dada Dadi ji. So, what motivated me to write this kitab is, from the outside external, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਰਿਲੀਜਨਸ ਨਾਲ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਹੈ, ਸਾਰੇ ਧਰਮ ਅਲੱਗ ਹੈ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਉਹ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਬੁੱਧ ਧਰਮ ਸੇ ਅਲੱਗ ਹੈ, ਇਸਲਾਮ ਸੇ ਅਲੱਗ ਹੈ। ਪਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਨਾ ਕੋ हिंदू ना को मुसलमान। इसका अर्थ क्या है? तो इसलिए तो ये बहुत दिलचस्प टीचिंग है जो मैं हमेशा सोचती कि गुरु नानक देव जी की कहना चाਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਕੀ ਚੱਕਰ ਹੈ। तो फिर मैं बुद्ध धर्म ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ मैंने खोजा। I learned so many different philosophies, Buddhist philosophy। 3 साल का वो मास्टर्स प्रोग्राम किया है, एंड ऑल्सो बहुत सारे गुरुजी के अंडर मैंने बहुत सारे धर्म टीचिंग्स लिए। एंड अंत में थोड़ी बहुत ही अंडरस्टैंडिंग हुई है कि it's not about the external, it's not about the clothes you wear, it's not about my shaved head, it's not about the dastar, it's not about my roop, my external roop, it's about my mind। In the Dhammapada, Tampad में बुद्ध ने किया कि the first slok is mind is the forerunner, everything is created by the mind। So then again, in the realm of mind, please tell me, where is the Hindu mind and where is the Muslim mind? Is there such thing as a Buddhist mind? Because mind is colorless, it is non-tangible, you cannot see it। like the first the Mool Mantra we have in Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Ek Onkar Satnam Kartapur Nirbhav Nirvair। So there is no fear, no anger, no hatred, right? So self-existent, and then basically it's omniscient, omnipotent। And basically, if you really look in the texts in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, you will find that mind is discussed. The quality of the mind, it cannot be seen, it cannot be tasted, there's no color, there's no shape। So if this is the characteristic of the mind, ਜੇ ਇਹ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਲੱਛਣ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਦਾ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਬੁੱਧਿਸਟ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਕ੍ਰਿਸਚੀਅਨ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਹੈ। ਮਾਈਂਡ ਇਜ਼ ਮਾਈਂਡ, ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਇਜ਼ ਐਨ ਐਨਰਜੀ। ਮਾਈਂਡ ਇੱਕ ਐਨਰਜੀ ਹੈ। तो ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਐਂਡ ਦ ਟੀਚਿੰਗਸ ਆਰ ਲਾਈਕ GPS, you know, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੈਪ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਨਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ GPS ਲਗਾਉਂਦੇ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਨਾ ਸਹੀ ਦਿਸ਼ਾ में ना लेके जाएगा ये GPS। तो फिर look at the Guru Granth Sahib and look at the teachings of all the great masters, सारे हज़रत मोहम्मद, जीसस, जो भी है, जो भी enlightened beings इस धरती पे जन्म लिया है हमारे लिए, सभ्य मानवता के लिए। It's all about teaching us. They're showing us the way. They're showing us the point where this is where to go. And you know the GPS ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ? GPS ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਨਾ ਅੰਦਰ ਜਾਓ, अंतर मन में जाके खोजो। फिर ਅਸੀਂ है ना GPS को पकड़ के बैठे हैं। तो फिर so this is the reason why I wrote the book Guru Nanak Dev Ji and Buddha comparison, because I say that externalities, no matter how many externalities you find, no matter how different we are from the outside, but what is important is the essence of the teaching. The essence of the teaching, what are the teachings trying to tell us? And in my journey I found out that the primary teaching of both Gautam Buddha and Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji is about agyanta. We have human mind. Human mind, the root cause of suffering, dukh ka kya karan hai? Agyanta. Yes. And then Buddha ne पूछा है कि संसार में दुख का कारण क्या? Yes. Correct? So both gurus answered the same thing. It's agyanta. And agyanta manifests as greed, lobh. And where there is lobh, where there is greed, mera, 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 then when mera, somebody tries to take away your mera, you will have, home is the root of mera. Home and is a manifestation of agyanta. Agyanta hai, agyan hai. इसलिए home hai. Home and agyanta is the child of agyanta. Home is the expression. So the agyanta is that mool karan of why we are actually dualistic. So we have like and dislike, past, present, left, right, good, bad. All these come from one mental poison called agyanta, ignorance. And it is from this ignorance that we have lobh. And lobh is a manifestation of, lobh manifests as mera, mera, mera. And when somebody tries to take it away from us, whatever that we like, mera bachcha, mera taram, mera kar, mera ye, mera wo, then we become angry. So that's where you have what? Hatred. And hatred is, what do you call hatred?
Hatred
in Punjabi,
hatred ਨਾਲ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਡਾ ਕ੍ਰੋਧ ਦੁਸ਼ਮਣੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ
ਜੀ, ਕ੍ਰੋਧ, yes,
ਹਾਂਜੀ,
ਕ੍ਰੋਧ. So we have our ਪੰਜ what is
Kaam,
that?
Krodh,
Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, right?
Hanji.
And in Buddhism, the three poisons are very important. Agyanta, okay? Agyanta, Lobh, and hatred.
And hatred.
Yes. Ignorance, greed and hatred. These are the three. And it is actually picturized in the Bhava Chakra. So if you look at the Tibetan Thangka painting, you will find that the Agyanta is actually manifested by this chicken, and then after that there is a pig, and then after that there is a snake. They are going round and round and round in the Bhava Chakra. So from these three poisons there is the sense of I. So where there is ignorance, the I will come, and I is called home. So the false sense of I, and I separates myself from you. And by learning this in Buddhist philosophy motivated me to write this book, because Guru Nanak Dev Ji was saying the same thing in if you read the Sri Guru Granth Sahib, they always talk about agyanta ko mitana hai, agyanta ko mitana hai, kime mitana hai. You have love for other beings, seva karo, So what is there? Sarbatata pala, isn't it?
Yes.
Vanda shakna, naam japna. So these are the three, isn't it? Kirta karni. So we are not like we are here to serve other beings. We are here for the welfare and happiness of the whole world. So even in Buddhism, we have bodhicitta. So bodhicitta is the idea that we are not here just for ourselves, but we are here to help all beings cross the ocean of samsara. So the concept of bodhicitta and the concept of sarbatata pala has very strong parallels. The agyanta in Buddhism, agyanta in Sikhism, agyanta is agyanta, mind is mind. There's no such thing as Sikh mind, Buddhist mind. Mind is mind. It's an energy hundi hai. So it's like you cannot say that the energy, when it enters a a Muslim body, it becomes a Muslim energy. Or it enters the Punjab, a Sikh body, it becomes a Sikh energy. Energy is energy. All of us eat food. Why do we eat food? Because food is energy. We get our energy from the food, isn't it? We are all beings of energy, but vibrating at different frequencies. ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕ੍ਰੋਧਿਤ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਚੜਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਹਮਾਰੀ ਵਾਈਬ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਨਾ ਲੋ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਹਮਾਰੇ ਮਨ 'ਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਪਿਆਰ, ਸਨੇਹ for other people, for all the world, हमारी vibrations will become very high. So, and what is the meaning of this? It means that we are vibrating at high frequencies, energy that is actually radiating from our own minds. This is dharma. This is Gurbani. Dharma or Gurbani is actually telling us about the essence of the way things really are, the reality of self and the reality of phenomena. So this is what I was trying to write in that book.
And when we talk about Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and so the connectivity जो पंजाब ਚ ਵੀ ਲੋਕ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਾਨਕ ਲਾਮਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ,
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਲਦਾਖ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਤੇ ਤਿੱਬਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਸੇਮ
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਇਸੀ ਨਾਮ ਨਾਲ ਬੋਲਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਰੈਲੇਵੈਂਸ ਸੀਗੀ
1959 से पहले तिब्बत चों ना लोग ना आਉਂਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ pilgrims Sri Harmandir Sahib तक. They used to do the dot, the full length prostration from Tibet right up to Harmandir Sahib, because they saw Nanak Lama as Guru Padma Sambhava, Guru Rinpoche.
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮੈਨੀਫੈਸਟੇਸ਼ਨ
Hanji, Hanji. So for those of you who do not know who Guru Padma Sambhava is, Guru Padma Sambhava was a master who actually brought Buddhism into Tibet and Bhutan and the entire Himalayan region. So Guru Padma Sambhava is considered as the second Buddha in Himalayan region. So when Guru Nanak Dev Ji went on his Udasi and he went up to Tibet, he went to Ladakh, Leh, there is also, I think if I'm not mistaken, there is either a handprint or a footprint, I cannot remember it now.
ਪੱਥਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ
Leh ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ
ਹਾਂਜੀ,
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਜੀ।
yes there, and then also he went to Sikkim and and Assam, all the Himalayan belt. And when people went there and saw his powers, so many amazing things happened when Guru Nanak Dev Ji went, and how he taught people. He did not show charisma for no reason. There were times when charisma was needed. So he, showed charisma. Like, for example, in Punjab Sahib, when Wali Kandari was trying to, stop Guru Nanak Dev Ji, he threw a boulder from the top.
Yes.
And Guru Nanak Dev Ji stopped with the hand. That is also considered some sort of a display of supernormal power. People along the Himalayan region saw this. And then they thought that it's Guru Rinpoche's manifestation. So that is why they revere Nanak Lama as a manifestation of Guru Rinpoche.
But when we look at the modern way, sometimes the real essence of even Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and when we say that the teachings of Buddha and Guru Nanak Dev Ji were the same, then why are the people
I
not
wouldn't
able
say they are the same, they are similar.
They are similar. They're similar teachings.
Yeah. So the teachings, 2,000 years apart, according to the context, yeah. So Buddha, 2,600 years ago, the context was very different from the time of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, because at that time, there were only the religions of India at that time. Right, so we had Jainism, we had Brahmanism, yeah, and we had other Shraman schools, the schools of the Shramanas, So we had like 6 heretical traditions at that time. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji's time, we already had other world religions coming into the land, right?
Yes.
Because Punjab, as you know, the land of the 5 rivers, it was actually it was bustling with activity of traders and all, and many conquerors set their eyes on Punjab because of the fertile land and all,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And it was like a fusion of so many different ideas and also religious religions. So Islam already came into the land of Punjab at that time.
Yes.
And Guru Nanak Dev Ji, he was born in present day what we call Pakistan, and his neighbors were Muslim, and Pai Mardana, his Rababi, was also a Muslim, right? So the context is very different. And as you know, Abrahamic religions, they have a very different worldview from Eastern religions, from Indian religions. So how they taught, how the Buddha taught and how the Guru Nanak Dev Ji taught, they were very different. Buddha never taught never used the concept of Paramatma. So Paramatma was not needed in the discussion 2,600 years ago. The Buddha did not say, yes, Paramatma exists or God doesn't exist. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji, he used a lot of metaphor. Like to describe this universal energy, he used Paramatma, Ram, Hari, Allah. So many times the name Allah also appears in Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Ya Khuda, so many. So people subscribe to the idea of a creator God 2,000 years later. One single entity. So that's why Sikhism is today known as a monotheistic religion, because we say that Ek Onkar, so we have one universal energy and we only have one God. But if you translate the universal energy and put it in a small box called God, we are actually reducing the universal energy into something like an Abrahamic kind of interpretation. God is not limited to a man sitting up there on the throne, So then if you look at the translations of Shri Guru Granth Sahib, you will look at it using the word Lord and He, always in one gender, never she. So it actually doesn't inspire many women when we read the translations. So we think that God has gender, God has a shape. But actually, if you really look at the descriptions of Paramatma in Shri Guru Granth Sahib, it will tell you that actually it's shapeless, colorless, and doesn't have any fear, doesn't have any anger. So basically, it cannot refer to a being. It's a super energy. It's like it's an energy of the cosmos. Some call it universal energy. Some call it the Tao. Some call it Allah. Some call it Yahweh. Yeah, some call it God. So some call it Brahman. So that's why Guru Nanak Dev Ji was very creative. He was very, very aware by putting all these different names into his sloks. So he just wants to tell people that there is no such thing as your God, my God.
So they all can relate to.
Because God cannot be fathomed by the human mind. And the idea of God is not limited to somebody sitting down up there and making decisions for our lives. That's why Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, "Ape beej, ape hi khao." Je God te depend hai, to fir na, why has it got to do with personal responsibility? Humne beeja to sanu hi khana hi pena. Right? So we cannot tell God that तुसी ना इतना किता साडे नाल, तुसी इतना किता साडे नाल, तो फिर सजा तो हमको भुगत नहीं पैनी. Because we created the karma. So if we did not create the karma, we won't experience the results. So in this equation, has it something to do with the creator God? You get what I mean? So Guru Nanak Dev Ji also taught personal responsibility, but we misunderstand the teachings actually. You get what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Because this is what is happening. That's why कई लोग रिलेट नहीं कर पाते या वो कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं. और एक वो भी रीज़न हो सकता है कि प्रॉपर अगे जो रियल टीचिंग्स लोगों तक नहीं पहुंच पाती. जितना व्हेन यू रेड द एंटायर गुरु ग्रंथ साहब after going to Nepal, you mentioned in 2009 you went there.
I became a Sangh in 2009, and then I came back to Malaysia, and then I studied. In fact, I was studying in Thailand, International Buddhist College.
Yes.
And I learned the basics, not to say basics, the advanced philosophy of Buddhism. Not as deep as, of course, what the Tibetan monks are learning in their monasteries, the 17 years. No, mine is a very condensed. The basic idea is that mind is the nature of mind, the characteristics of mind, and also that Buddhism is called a non-theistic religion. It does not matter whether God exists or doesn't exist, because responsibility is individual responsibility. And that's what Guru Nanak Dev Ji was trying to tell us, that no matter what, it's not the external entity that's going to save you. It's you have to save yourself, because you created the karma.
Your own actions will save you.
Exactly. So in the Japji Sahib, it's very clear. Ape beej, ape hi khao. That's it. Unfortunately, nowadays, we believe that the agency has always been with us. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji acknowledged that agency, that we all are agents of our own liberation. We can be empowered, but we have to tune ourselves to the higher energy. So some call it universal energy. New Age nowadays, they don't use the term God. So New Age techniques, they will say that it's a universal energy. But we are talking about one and the same thing, an energy that cannot be contained, cannot be described, cannot be dissected, cannot be, it's not tangible, it's so abstract, and it's beyond the human intellect to
Neither
fathom
it can be created nor be destroyed.
Yes, not created, not destroyed. Right. but only transform from one form,
One form
to
to
another.
another.
Exactly. You got it. Yes.
So the entire physics is, I think,
Exactly. So even in the Heart Sutra in Buddhism, so we say that there is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. Yeah. So now no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind. So there is nothing that is created, nothing that is destroyed. There's no purity, there is no impurity. Ultimately, there's no liberation also. Nanyanam na prapti. There's nothing to prapat karo. So if we are thinking that liberation is something out there, both Guru Nanak Dev Ji and Buddha said that, hey, whatever that we have taught you actually is you're meant to go inside here. But asi, what we have done, we have started to think that the robes are more important. We are attached to the robes, we are attached to our robe, we are attached to our kitab, we are attached to our scriptures, we are attached to our temples. We hold those things as sacred. But the sacred is the jyot that is inside here. And in Buddhism, we call it Buddha nature, Tathagata Garbha. In Sikhi, we call it Jyot. So
everything is very connected, and I
the
think
man Jyot Sarup hai na. So aapka mool pashano. I think that's what the gurus were trying to tell us. So if the gurus are telling us to recognize our own nature, then why are we so attached to everything outside of our own mind? Man to Jyot Sarup hai, apna mool pashano.
ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋਗੇ ਕਿ and you see ਕਿ ਇਹ ਸਭ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ and basic ਹੈ, if they understand this they'll be on that path. So what is that thought which comes in your mind, and what is that reason they are unable to the world is unable to understand what you are saying? And
Yeah. So basically, I'm just a humble, what I call that, a servant of all the gurus. But I can tell you for sure that if the way we went wrong is this grasping. So grasping is greed. So this mera is the very thing that the Guru Nanak Dev Ji and Buddha taught us, that we must deconstruct that separate I. So everybody wants to assert that self. The self बहुत important है. I am this, I am that. मशहूर होना, in this 21st century, it has become an obsession. So everybody wants to be popular on TikTok, Insta, Facebook. जितने ज़्यादा likes है ना, तो उतना ही ज़्यादा ego बढ़ती है. So we have used Dharma and Gurbani and any other religion also. If those who do not understand the importance of going in, they are using religion to prop up the ego rather than to reduce the ego. So in that case, their practice will always remain external. Like we call them mala fairy. We always will jab in order to show that I am jabbing the mala. It's me. Menu vekho. Mere taraf vekho. Like, it's like, so that, yes. So it's like, लोग मैंने देख के नहीं कि मैं माला, and it's like when I'm doing Dandot, where people will see, when I'm doing, जब मैं परिक्रमा करती हूँ तो लोग देख के नहीं,
ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਬੜਾ ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਹੈ.
ਯੈਸ, ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਕਰਦੀ ਲੋਕ ਵੇਖਦੇ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਨਾ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸੁਰੀਲੀ ਹੈ. ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਨਾ is in the realm of external. That means that we are using Dharma, Gurbani to make our ego become bigger. Just
the reverse process ही जा रहा है.
Exactly. And then in Gurbani also we have, isn't it? Guru Nanak, हमारे गुरुओं ने किया कि actually तेरा कीता जातो नहीं, मैंने जो कीता मैं निर्गुण यारे को गुण नहीं आपे तरस पे होई, isn't it? So basically we are saying that we have no guna inside. So and also मेरा मुझ में किछ नहीं, जो किछ है सो तेरा तुझको सौंप दे, क्या लागे मेरा.
So we just need to surrender to the...
Exactly, because this is a very important thing, because when the gurus told us that as long as we think that we exist, there's an I, there's me here, there's this great person that is doing all these wonderful things, we are going very far away from liberation, because the ego is solidifying. So this ego is called home. So when we solidify the ego, there are many ways to do that in Dharma. You what they call that, dress up very beautifully, very majestically. We wear the vastra of the dharmic vastra. We must wear this. Mala is a prerequisite. Je mala hai nahi, ek din we become anxious. कि मेरे appearance de vich koi kami to nahi रहेगी. And I'm and then also when I do my dharmic sessions and all, I must make sure that I have an audience. And then people must know what I did in 1 week. I have to post everything on the internet. तो फिर ये तो बहुत ना चंगा काम करती है, तो शी इज डूइंग सेवा हियर, सेवा ते सेवा है ना, गुप्त सेवा होती है. सेवा नीड नॉट बी एडवर्टाइज्ड. Dharma
Yes.
practice need not be advertised. जिस क्षण ਅਸੀਂ advertise ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, unless it's to inspire others. Many ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ is wrong. But if we have to question our motivation moment to moment कि ਸਾਡਾ motivation ਕੀ ਹੈ. जिस क्षण the motivation is बढ़ावा देने के लिए, खुद की बढ़ियाई, then you're solidifying the ego. And the ego is the one that causes us to think that there's a separate self. मैं ਵਧੀਆ, ਉਹ ਬੇਕਾਰ ਹੈ, like that. So then you want people to make prop up your ego. So that is where we have gone wrong in dharma practice.
And when we say
And
हुक्म में
Gurbani.
अंदर सबको बाहर हुक्म ना कोई, नानक हुक्म जे बुझे तो हम में रहे ना कोई. तो what is हुक्म in this, and what as per your?
Okay, hukam is actually niyams. So even in Buddhism, the Buddha mentioned about bij niyam, and karma is also a niyam, right? So nobody is outside of this niyam, hukam. So it's just a different language. So hukam, I believe it's coming from Urdu, if I'm not mistaken, Arabic language, isn't it? And of course, later on, Punjabi is become part of Punjabi language also. So it actually really means that we are. It's a universal law that we all are bound by, the universal laws. Ana jana, janam, maranam. These two things is also part of the hukam, karma. So what you sow is what you're going to reap. This is also hukam, right? So no one can get away with killing somebody and not face the consequences. No one can do bad onto others and not face the consequences, because everybody is within that hukam. There's no such thing as somebody who is a royalty, or who is a minister, or somebody who has got a high money, different classes, the bourgeoisie, outside of the hukam, and the working class are inside the hukam. No. Everybody is inside the hukam, including our gurus, and also including the Siddhartha. Even Buddha, when he became a Buddha, he was also within the hukam. Why? Because he had to die. He had to actually, he became old. He became old,
leave the
he
body.
became sick. He had to eventually give up the body. The body, if the body belonged to Buddha, the body should have remained young forever. But because everything is impermanent, impermanence, badlav, parivartan is also a hukam. Yeah, so everything actually basically changes the law of life, isn't it?
It's very, very well explained, and actually the rules of the universe, and we all are under those rules, and we need to comply by those rules. और सारे ਲਈ same है. हुक्म ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੜੇ अच्छे तरीके ਨਾਲ ਸਮਝਾਇਆ. and अगर ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦਾ ਰੋਲ ਦੇਖੀਏ ਕਿ what do you see as India's role in promoting the values of Buddhism to the world?
Right. I would say that don't promote the values of Buddhism. Promote the values of Dharma. Dharma transcends Buddhism. Buddhism is just a label for the teachings and the Sangha and the entire the Buddha Dharma Sangha that the Buddha laid the foundation. It was never meant to be actually an organized religion in the beginning, but later the Buddha organized it according to the Sangha, the fourfold Sangha, the Bhikkhu, Bhikshuni, the laymen and the lay women. But what is most important is the Dharma. And that is why we say that it's at the end of the day, when people say it's Buddha Dharma, Dharma is Dharma. Dharma is all these universal laws, the teachings and everything which describe reality. So India should be promoting Dharma, the reality of what it really is. So, and then if you look at, for example, Gurbani, I'm not saying this just to be popular, just because I come from two beautiful spiritual traditions, but I'm saying that take the essence of the teachings. And in every teaching, in Sikhi, in Hinduism, Sanatan Dharma actually is the better way to call it. In Sanatan Dharma, we have in Jainism, we have in Buddha Dharma, we call so-called Buddha Dharma. So whatever teachings that the Buddha has given is actually explaining what reality is, the reality of self and the reality of phenomena. So the teachings of karma must be disseminated to the world. The teachings of Patitya Samutpada, which is unique to the Buddha. So the Buddha explained dependent origination. So that actually India has a very important responsibility to ensure that people understand the Dharma transcends religion. Dharma is Dharma. We cannot say that Dharma belongs to a certain religion. So Buddha Dharma has all the answers and then everybody else is bekar. No. That is the most dangerous thing to do. The last thing that India needs to do is to showcase to the world that, that we are propping up one, that higher than the others. So I say that take all the Bharatiya values. So we call it Bharatiya values. So the values that have come up from this beautiful land of India over thousands of years, be it Buddhism, be it Hinduism, be it Jainism, be it Sikhism, and any other spiritual tradition that has been tried and tested that describe the reality and have good values founded in love, compassion, kindness, understanding, deconstructing of the ego, and promoting love and oneness to all humanity. That's Dharma. So India has a responsibility to promote Dharma, not Buddhism alone. Because India is more than Buddhism, and Buddhism arose from India. And every other Buddha in the future will also be born in India. In the future.
In the future.
In the future. In the future, all Buddhas will arise in India. Because India is the Madhya Desa, Jambudvip, the middle land, which is the source of all knowledge. And, so India must be very, in a way, India should maintain circular ethics, but at the same time introduce the concept of Dharma in a very circular way. So that the young people who are averse to all this dharmic language, it's very complex. And even those who come from religions that are outside of India, they will be able to relate to these universal values. Anyone in India who comes from any faith, India is a melting pot of so many different spiritual traditions. You name it, I think you have it here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, India has given Sharan to Zoroastrians.
Yes.
Right? And then you have a sizable number of Muslims in India. And also you have the Christian and the Catholic communities, many other communities and all. So we want the values of all of what they call that, the Bharatiya values for the people of Bharat. And the people of Bharat share it with the rest of the world. So this is very important. So I'm definitely,
yes.
when I wrote that book, I was looking at Bharatiya ethics. So because if we start looking at something only from all that copyright belongs to Buddhism, kindness is Buddhism, compassion is Buddhism, then we are missing the point. Because the Buddha re-emphasized, love, re-emphasized compassion. Then what did Lord Krishna emphasize? Compassion. What
Same.
did Ram emphasize? Yeah, Purushottam. What they call it, Maryada Purushottam, right? He is very just, kindness, compassionate, loving. So what did Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji and all our the 10 gurus also? Love and compassion.
Love and compassion.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, if you ask me this question again, I would say that India will share the values of love and compassion to the whole
world.
From all Bharat spiritual traditions without Bhed-Bhav, because the Sikh gurus never Bhed-Bhav Guru. So the Guru Granth Sahib is not about Sikhi alone. The Guru Granth Sahib also has Baba Farid's sloks and then Kabir's sloks, Ravidas sloks. So now you understand why we
Yes.
cannot just have Buddha's ethics or teachings to the whole world. So this is what we want. We want to have the essence of the teachings of the Buddha. We take it out from there, and then the essence of all the beautiful teachings of India. Compare, contrast, which is what I did in my book. Compare and contrast and meditate and understand it in the realm of your own mind. Once you are there, you can really understand that ultimately everything is external. What is inside? The values remain inside, but the displays of piety will always remain external. The external show of piety is what is stopping us from becoming liberated.
एक पंजाब ਦੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਲਈ ਇੱਕ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਕੋਈ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੋਗੇ
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਕਿ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਵੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਹੈਜ਼ ਬੀਨ ਅ ਲੈਂਡ ਆਫ ਵੇਲਰ ਐਂਡ ਈਵਨ ਗ੍ਰੀਨ ਰੈਵੋਲੂਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਆਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਸਾਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਤੇ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਨੈਗੇਟਿਵ ਖਬਰਾਂ ਵੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਇੰਕਲੂਡਿੰਗ ਡਰੱਗਸ ਐਂਡ ਅਦਰ
जी
ਥਿੰਗਸ।
बहुत जी
ਉਹ ਲੈਂਡ ਆਫ ਗੁਰੂਜ਼ ਜੋ ਹੈ, ਲੈਂਡ ਆਫ
जी
ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲਿਟੀ,
जी
ਸੋ if you can give a message which they can inculcate so that Punjab can again become a land of spirituality and prosperity.
ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਦੀ ਧਰਤੀ ਹੈ। ਯੈਸ, ਹਮਾਰੇ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਲੀਦਾਨ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ। Yeah, and especially ਦਸ਼ਮੇਸ਼ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ, ਰਾਈਟ?
ਪੂਰਾ ਸਰਬੰਸ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ।
ਯੈਸ, ਇਨ 7 ਦਿਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੂਰਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ is gone. The 4 children and Mata Gujar Kaur, right? And of course, so many other shaheeds also. Never forget the sacrifices of all the gurus and anyone who died to uphold the freedom of religion of the people of India. And this freedom and religion is not something that you should fear. Religion guides you to come back. In religion is a GPS that points the direction to your inner self. Religion is not something that you should cling lock and stock and barrel to. And religion does not belong only to the priests. It's not the granthi. It's not the ragi singer. It's not the domain of people who are learned, the scholars and all. The teachings of all our gurus, including the Buddha, right? All the gurus of India, the teachings are meant for everybody. So just think of all the very fact that you're on this land, that people from outside of this country, like me, for example, I have ancestors from India. It took me 30 years to come back to India. When I came to India, exactly as Shri Kiran Rijiju said, I touched the earth and I kissed it, because it's so amazing. You know, if you are born here, you do not know the beauty and the preciousness of this land. Yes, problems again, problems, and there's so many problems, you know, but you have to solve the problems instead of complaining about it. So, you know, we cannot blame the sarkar, we cannot blame everybody for the problems that we have created, and understand that whatever problems that we are facing today is nothing compared to the problems that are faced by the 10 gurus in the past. And especially Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, who gave his head for the religious freedom of India, and India has forgotten. India has forgotten. So this is the 350th anniversary of Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, who gave his head for religious liberty. And if Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was not there, there will be no Buddhism in India today. And I wouldn't be sitting down here talking about the Buddha, talking about Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And that is a fact. So instead of spending too much time on TikTok, Instagram and all, come back and read your own spiritual texts from your own tradition. Yeah, and find out what the gurus were saying. Because until and unless you read it for yourself, instead of asking a third person to read it for you, you will not know the wealth, the beauty, and the intent of the message, the actual message that points back to your heart. So be a kind person, and be proud that you're born in the land of the 5 rivers. This is...
Thank you so much. It has
all
been
that
a
I
very
can say.
enlightening session for me as well. At a personal level, I can actually say this, that I feel more learned, more enlightened after this conversation. And
Can I say one thing I've
yes.
been actually really trying to say, and if we can record this, is
Please,
also
please,
very
please,
good.
definitely.
Yeah. When people look at me having a shaved head, wearing the robes of a Buddhist sangha, straight away people say that I converted. You know, there is a conversion going on here. Oh, she left Sikhi. Oh, she has become a Buddhist now.
Yes, that's
So
the
it's
first
like
thought which comes.
Yes, and then it's like this is like how to say, like I'm one to talk about all the gurus, writing a book and all. You know, she's fit to talk. But look at her. She has a shaved head, and she has become a Buddhist, and she's converted and become a Buddhist. Actually, I would like to share this with you, that what one becomes in this life is a cultivation of it's a karma that has, we have cultivated from previous lives. So in this life is a continuation of what I have actually been in past lives. So it's just a continuation.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is my calling. That is my journey. Everybody's journey is different. But you know what? Conversion happens at the realm of mind. It's never the body. So you can have, you can bring somebody into a religion, but you can never transform their mind. So until today, I would like to say that if we can study physics, geography, chemistry, biology, and all in order to understand different aspects of phenomena. We study physics to understand motion. We study chemistry to understand chemical reaction, and the minerals and all these different elements in the on Earth. And we study biology to understand organisms, And then we study the science of Buddhism, Gurbani, and all are actually science of mind. We don't study the science of mind. But when it comes to studying biology, it's okay for me to take physics. So nobody says that you take physics, so you cannot study biology because you are Gadar. If you study physics, you shouldn't study biology. So why is it that if somebody studies Buddhism, that person's, is like you study Sikhism, you study Buddhism, you study Christianity, you study any, and if you like biology better, will that make you a traitor to physics?
So this is something like because your father is a physicist, you cannot be a biologist.
Exactly. So if my father is a physicist, so I cannot become a biologist. It doesn't make sense because I prefer biology because that is my calling, and I have interest to understand that more, right? And I want to tell the audience one thing also. The Dalai Lama said this: you study the teachings of the Buddha, Buddhist philosophy, whatever it is, but never change your religion. So if you ask me what is my religion today, go figure. I think you will understand. My religion is kindness.
Yes.
I don't label it as Buddhism. I don't label it as Sikhi. I don't label it as anything, because as long as you're a kind person, as Dalai Lama said, that should be the religion. The very fact that we are holding on to externalities, we are always identifying myself. I am Buddhist. You are Sikh. You are Muslim. That is where we have become so divided in this world.
क्या जानता है कि धर्म इंसान को संभालता है, इंसान धर्म को नहीं संभालता.
सही गल. Yes. And you know what? Violence does not have any dharma.
Yes.
Yes.
And it can never have.
Yes. So I just wanted to say that. So there's no such thing as a Buddhist practitioner converting. It's never happened because that is not the teachings of the Buddha. The only conversion that the Buddha talked about is from evil to good. It's not about the changing of the vastra.
This is a very deep-rooted conversation we have had, and
because I've been accused of so many things now. So
and you're actually ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਸਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਪਹਿਨਾਵੇ ਤੇ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਦੀ ਸੀਰਤ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਸੂਰਤ ਵੱਲ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਚਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ.
And I want to tell you one thing also, that my family in Punjab are Amritari. Yes.
Okay.
So they are Khalsa. Yeah. Singhniya. And they are wonderful human beings, and they learn meditation from me. And I learn Gurbani from them.
ਮਤਲਬ ਉਹ ਕਦੀ ਐਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ
ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ. So this is the real children of Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji. They accept me as their Masi, a monk Masi. And I love my nephews and nieces in their Khalsa Roop, in one family.
So our ultimate the goal is kindness.
Hanji, and understanding.
Understanding.
And at the end of the day, I love Kirtan, and they are teaching me how to do Kirtan. And I teach them how to do Vipassana.
So that's the beauty about Bharat, we would say.
Exactly.
Yes.
And there is no ladai in the family, because we all love each other. Because it's about the mind. It's never about the externalities. They only see their Masi. They don't see a monk. And I only see my nephews and nieces. I see their Khalsa Roop. I respect them because whenever I see them, I see Guru Gobind Singh Ji in them. And they say that when they see me, they see the Buddha in me.
This is amazing. Honestly, मैं ਜਦੋਂ conversation ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਮਾਈਂਡ 'ਚ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ, ਮੈਂ ਹੋਰ ਸਵਾਲ ਪੁੱਛਣੇ ਸੀ, ਬਟ ਜੋ ਇਹ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਸਮਟਾਈਮਸ the universe wanted this conversation to happen, and it happened, and I feel the right message will go to the right to the people of India and to the world.
जी.
And I actually want to humbly thank you for this
Thank
conversation.
you so much. I should be the one thanking you for allowing my voice to reach those who needed to hear this.
ਵੀਡੀਓ ਦੇਖਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਮੈਂ ਹੈਰਾਨ ਤੇ ਪਰੇਸ਼ਾਨ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹਾਂ। ਦੇਖੋ ਜੀ, ਇਹ ਬੁੱਧਿਜ਼ਮ ਧਰਮ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਸਵਾਮੀ ਔਰਤ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਲਿਖੀ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੈਰਾਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਰੱਖ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ। ਦੇਖੋ ਜੀ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖੀਜ਼ਮ ਧਰਮ ਦਾ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਹੈ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਹਵਾਲੇ ਸਿੱਖੀਜ਼ਮ ਧਰਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਪਰਫੈਕਟਲੀ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਨੇ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਆਖਿਆ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਦੀ ਧਰਤੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਸਿੱਖ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਬਲੀਦਾਨ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਨੇ। ਦੇਖੋ ਜੀ, ਇਹ ਤੇ ਹਰ ਕੋਈ ਮੰਨਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਿੱਖ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਘੱਟ ਤੇ ਦੂਸਰਿਆਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਬਲੀਦਾਨ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਨੇ, ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੁਰਬਾਨੀਆਂ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਹਰ ਧਰਮ ਵਾਲਾ ਮੰਨਦਾ ਹੈ। ਦੇਖੋ ਜੀ, ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਵੀ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਨੇ, ਹਿੰਦੂ ਵੀ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਬੁੱਧਿਜ਼ਮ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਸਵਾਮੀ ਜੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਮੰਨ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਬਾਕੀ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਸਵਾਮੀ ਜੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਾਤਾਂ ਸੁਣੀਆਂ ਹੈ। ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ, ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੀ ਰਾਏ ਹੈ, ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਾਜ਼ਮੀ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਇਸ ਮੇਰੀ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਵੀਡੀਓ, ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਉਦ ਤੱਕ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦਿਓ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ। ਰੱਬ ਰਾਖਾ।